Hello, good afternoon, good rainy afternoon is what it is out here, with a little bit of a breeze. As you can see, my lean-to on the tree here is flapping a little bit. I'm up in just a little county park in Dana Point, very, very nice part of Southern California here. I came up here because these were the only relatively good covered trees that I saw, and the sprinkling was starting to happen, and I got up here and they don't provide that much cover, so I'm hoping that this is acceptable enough, because I'm kind of in the middle of a bunch of communities. Hoping that this is acceptable enough that nobody tells me to leave until it's raining, or until my friends come to get me. I'm supposed to go to Walmart sometime today and do some grocery shopping for the hiking trip. So that's the general plan that I'm gonna stick to right now. I'm kind of trying to stray from calling it a plan, because every time I say plan, something different seems to happen, and I really want to go on a hiking trip with these guys. Yeah, I decided not to go once I made it to San Clemente, which I've got a cool story to tell about that here in a second. I was kind of struck with this vibe that I guess it's gonna be harder to sleep the further south I go, and right now that's it's not kosher, because I'm already missing on a good few hours of sleep. I think it reflects I saw a friend at Starbucks earlier today, and he even made a comment that kind of said I looked out of it. So I may sound out of it, definitely feel out of it, just because the sleeping's been a little bit harder in this southernmost area of my trip. And the rain isn't the best help for the sleep either. Though I did make a fairly cool tent among the rocks next to the railroad the other day. That was in San Clemente, which brings me to the cool story. One of the things that I had in mind when I formulated this trip was further delving into my interest of unidentified flying objects and things of the extraterrestrial nature. And I had pretty much all but forgot about that whole intent upon coming out here. Or at least as I've been out here, I've forgot about that, been more in the moment and forgetting about a lot of the things that I've set out to do, because I know that they'll happen if they're supposed to. And so I got to San Clemente pretty late, walked down the beach. It was about 9:30 as I was walking down the beach, and I sat down and looked out, and there was a big old light. And I was like, wow, that plane's pretty close to the shore or something. And I was like, it's also flying in a weird direction because it doesn't seem to be moving. And so it's like, this is just me receiving this visual oddly. And I kept watching it, and then it would like shimmy to the left, and then up, and then diagonal, and doing all that. And it would slowly do it, and then come back around, and up and around. And then, just like the Deluminator from Harry Potter, as I was watching it, it went and just like up out of the sky, and just like in Harry Potter, those lights that go, that's what it looked like. Like it zoomed right into outer space. It was crazy. So I called my cousin, and it came back. And so I was talking to my cousin as it happened. It was very exciting. After the phone call, I saw it may have been 3 more form a triangle out by the pier. Now these I can't say as definitively were funky lights because people like to fly drones off the pier. But I will say that the motions were peculiar. And at one point, the first one that was closest to me and brightest, I mean, it was reflecting off the water and everything, came back and they seemed to form a line, like a line across the coast down towards the pier. It was very interesting. Talking to locals, there was only one guy that said anything about it. Everybody else didn't seem to be interested in the subject, nor were they knowledgeable of anything of the likes. The other guy said that it was probably some stuff from Camp Pendleton, the Marine base that's not far south of there. It covers a lot of ground on the coastal highway there. So, that was that. I went to sleep, had a very, very intense dream. It wasn't the first time I had this dream about Bimbo the Clown and Mama Baby Bananas. We won't get into that. But when I woke up, still feeling the intense vibes from, the memories of my dream state, I peeked my head out of my blanket and looked up in the sky, and to the left of Orion's belt there was a blue star that was shining, also peculiarly, it was shining very bright, and not like the other stars. And so I decided I'd watch it, because I got a feeling from it. Sure enough, dude started dancing around. I watched it at sometimes be moving above Orion's belt in relation to it, and below, and it would move horizontally. I got one other person to confirm the side of it with me, because I walked over. There's these kids not far from me, laying down, looking at the sky on the beach, and none of them had noticed it prior, but one of them did confirm that he saw it moving as well. They had just come from the bar, so I think the other ones were too, I don't know. They weren't looking as hard, or, I don't know, whatever. But I know what I saw. And I know that I didn't eat any more funky goldfish before I saw it. So, yeah. And that star, I went back to sleep, it was still messing around out there. But it was very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff indeed. I finally got to see it. Whether or not it's a Camp Pendleton, Marine test thing, I can speculate on. But the fact remains that I saw lights in the sky that did not follow the path of flight that any common knowledge device or craft should be able to follow. Especially the star thing, because that looked like it was way out there. And another thing I don't get is if they're testing marine stuff, why don't they do that in the miles and miles of land, of shore, that isn't, right in front of the freaking pier? That didn't make much sense to me. On top of that, after the first one disappeared the first time, lightning started happening way out on the horizon. It was dark, but lightning started happening. It was very interesting. Couldn't hear it. But, yeah, it was a cool experience. So now I'm out here, considerably deprived of sleep, but all's well that ends well. I couldn't make it to the cave that I wanted to make it to yesterday. The trail was closed. Ended up in a bathroom. Really nice park ranger this morning. Just making sure I was okay. And yeah, so I'm gonna make a move to find myself a solid cave after the Walmart shopping today. And I'll probably kick it there for a couple days, because I'm tired. I've got some good sleeping to do. something good sitting around to do. I don't have my guitar with me because I left it in the car, thankfully. But I've been feeling a little bit more creatively inclined. I was able to write lyrics for 2 different songs yesterday, so I've got a little bit of inspiration flowing. I feel with hitting San Clemente and coming upon the realization that I've gone southward as far as I'd like to, I feel that the ends of this trip are coming close. But that said, another opportunity brought itself yesterday to see a good old friend in Texas, and it's a very feasible possibility and very exciting possibility to get to see him again, just because it's been years and the place we're both in now is similar psychologically, mentally, you know, the ways that we think now, and it's very cool. We had an extended conversation last night, so I very well may do that, but I can't get too far ahead of myself. Yeah, so I'm trying to stay the same in pleasure and pain and welcome all the new experiences that are coming out to me, be they of, you know, splendor or sogginess, because it's all a place to grow, it's all a place to learn for me, and this is what I signed up for. So the drain on my body right now is definitely making it an interesting mental experiment. Whoa! It's definitely making it an interesting mental experiment. Feeling these physical circumstances and their effects on my spirits. I mean, it's a cool little playground for growth, you know, being a little bit wet and soggy. You know, you may find a couple, you know, when you don't have a roof to be under, you may find a couple new little tricks for, for keeping your spirits up, man. And so I had some Italian pasta salad. Got a really good deal for the next 3 months of Spotify Premium, so now I can play music without being online, because I don't like using up my data. So I'm gonna sit here, probably phone a friend for a minute, and then kick back, listen to some music, and see if maybe this nice old tree here that's helping me with shelter might also allow me a little nap at his trunk. So I love rainy days, and I'm getting a new appreciation for rainy days right now.